Okay, so on this demo, I'm going to just start up PowerPoint by typing that into the start, finding it wherever it might be. Okay, and the purpose of this tool is to put slides together to make it easy to present. Okay, so some people start here and they go and they'll follow these looks that might exist. Okay, improve maintenance. Then we hit a button called New Slide up here, and it produces another slide. Okay, and then you can type there key point 1. Right, and if you hit tab, we'll indent. Okay, now a lot of time is given by people. They'll go over to design and they'll pick different colors and different themes, they call it. As I hover, it shows me what it's going to look like. The advice I would give is always start here first. Things won't fit where you thought they fit once this changes things. Okay, so especially as you get more and more text in there. Okay, I will say in business, most people avoid the fancy looking themes. It just becomes a lot of clutter. It doesn't duplicate well. Okay, while this can kind of be neat, does it print out well? Something like that. There's a lot of options. The only thing I'll give you from a presenter's point of view, yellow is a really bad color. It doesn't project. It washes out on our current displays. Okay, so and something like this will have problems sometimes with, did you really want it to be diagonal? Did it just make my big text? So you could just pick a very simple theme, boom, 2 colors. Okay, now that's kind of the idea of the look. For most, I would recommend not trying to customize it. You then open a ton of features that doesn't make a large difference for what we're doing. Bush beans, we were down there one time and Ed Blakowski shared how they were going to a system that could add bromine to keep the water from getting buildup of allergens or bacteria. He had a slide. What's the problem? Our cost for keeping the water clean and the amount of maintenance hours. What were the reading levels? Then what was the solution? What would it cost? Should we buy it? And if you think about that, even though we may have learned things in primary, secondary school about lots of info, it's like 3-5 slides. What's the problem? What's the current status? What's it going to cost? When can it be operational? And then if you think about that, you're just trying to share some things. If I go to outline, this is kind of the neat view that I prefer. In the outline view, I now just simply hit enter and I can type another point. If I go shift tab, it goes back over here. New slide. New slide. Okay? If I hit tab, it knows it's point 1, point 2, point 3. Okay? This is where you decide, boy, I wish I had some bullets here. Well, you picked a theme that's not using bullets. I'd recommend just finding the theme. The idea is that when I go from one slide to another, they look the same. The way this slide works is subpoints have bullets. And you know what you might individually like. Here I've done something else where I hit tab, and over here, if you're in this, tab works like a tab. If you're over in outline, it tells it I want a subpoint. Once you put those in, you'll have a pretty clean look. Okay. However, there are sometimes other looks that allow different things. So like this slide, it just comes up here and says, well, what would you like to do? You know what, this one, I'd really like to insert a file. See, it has just a, if you don't start typing, you could insert something. So I'm going to say I want a picture. I don't have a lot of pictures. I'll pick the koala here. Now at this point, these little white dots are called handles. I can manipulate this image. I can shrink it down, put it where I want. Again, some planning helps. There's my new slide with picture, right? And so kind of knowing where pictures are going to go is a good decision. Now you notice I clicked, and if I click here, you see it tells me I've got this title box. That's what the theme did for us. If we go here on any of the other slides, see, it's about that big. It doesn't actually go across. So I can touch and just modify this slide. The problem is if I do this, and then if I hit new slide, if this wasn't one below it, it'll make this the pattern for the next. And did you want that where the title just jumps around? My simple recipe, I try and leave it alone. Now here, I've selected I can't get to the koala bear anymore. So think of layers of transparent material. The text is on top of the photo, but some handles did appear. So if I go take this handle and move it over, you see now I can get to the bear, and I could move the bear. Or I could decide to do this and just keep that picture and that side separate. Okay. So now let me show you what happens. Okay, now let me show you the next point. Way down here in this lower corner is the normal view, is the slide sorter. The slide sorter is used if I decide I want to move these. I can quickly drag and move them around. I don't have to try and copy and paste. I can put them in whatever order I want them in. Okay? I just click and drag. Reading view is something that is just another way to view these. Then the danger sometimes is, how did I do that and how do I get back? Okay, little tiny icons down here. But now I'm going to go back to slide view. I'm going to show you this one right here, slideshow. Slideshow or key F5 will start my show. But if I want to get to the first slide and hit F5, or get to the first slide and hit start show. At this point now I'm in presenting mode. I can hit enter or the arrow key, and I'll advance to the next slide. Then I'll advance to the next slide, advance to the next slide. When I get to the very end, it'll show me this screen. If I'm presenting and I hit the letter B, it means blank. So if I want to talk to the group and not have them see it. Okay. Maybe it's somebody's asking questions and you see everybody's still looking at the screen. You hit B and it goes off. Your job is going to be doing a couple things. You've got a temperature system that you need to read. You're going to use tools like Jing or the snipping view to say, I'll just use snip because I know it's loaded here. And I'll say I want to take this image. right? There's my image. Now in this case it says I can copy it to the clipboard. I can then go into PowerPoint, go here in a blank area, right click and go paste. You see now it's in its own little box there. Again, here's kind of the problem of I don't know what I'm putting on the page, so I can't lay out the page. So now I've got to play with this text box. Or I've got to say, you know what? I'm going to take this box, slide it down, make it wide, and move it to the top, move it here. Okay? Now I just want to see what happens when I hit another subpoint. It shrunk the font automatically. There's a setting to override that. But I'm going to hit Shift Tab and go back. And the new slide did make a normal slide. It didn't borrow what I had. Okay? So your goal is to make a simple report. You could actually just start here in the outline, put your key points. You wouldn't even have to pick a design, but you certainly could. And now let me just do that, and I'm just going to show you my slides. That if I pick that theme, is that what I meant to have? Do I like how it's made? Just depends on which theme you may pick. So now I go to that one, you see it's put it way over there. I don't know what the brown box does up ahead. See that key point and the text is on top of each other? That was the one I moved, right? So now it's not going to be able to self-correct. Now, I don't know if I like this bullet being off here. Again, that was one I moved. So it's a challenge of kind of play with it for fun, pick a theme, and then leave it. Obviously, you can master everything. But the power of the tool is when I can just quickly type an outline, and it's done. Okay? Questions? Okay, well, very good.